Good morning, everyone. My name is Ethan Pacheco, and today I want to talk about something that's a bit personal to me, and that is overcoming a sports injury. Later on, I'll talk about it in more detail, but after getting hurt, personally, I was shocked and I was devastated. I had been a little background on me. I have been playing tennis since around the sixth grade, and I was excited to be joining the high school league and stepping up to this and joining the team. However, I ended up hurting myself, and because of this, I had to miss the rest of my first season in the high school league, and that put me in a bad place mentally. However, I eventually overcame it, and me overcoming this, it makes it a very personal topic for me. So now that you know a little bit about who I am, it's probably time for me to tell you exactly why I care about it so much. In 2015, I was playing. I was in the middle of a game when I fell pretty hard on my leg. I went to the hospital, and it was determined that I had torn my meniscus, which is a cartilage in between your knee that helps with movement, and my ACL, which is a ligament that helps you stabilize your knee. So I needed surgery, and by the end of that year, I was in crutches. 4 months after that, I started physical therapy, and physical therapy for me was one of the most difficult things I had to do. I had lost nearly all the muscle in my leg and all the movement flexibility that I had. And seeing my leg looking so weak looking almost made it feel as if it wasn't a part of me anymore. That wasn't my leg that was attached to me. So my recovery process took about a year, but slowly but surely I was gaining my strength and my movement back, and then I could walk, then run, then jog, then run, and finally I was back on the tennis team. During the recovery process, I was not entirely convinced that I would be able to play again. Around the time I was able to lightly jog, I actually felt something I hadn't felt for a while. That was optimism and hope. And that may sound a little cheesy, but I actually at the time I didn't think that my leg would improve. Generally, I'm a little impatient, and I like to see progress as sooner rather than later. And it was really discouraging that I wasn't improving. But before I knew it, I had gained all the my range of motion in my leg, and I was jogging on the treadmill. Seeing your own progress is very encouraging during your recovery because you are able to see that you are moving forward, and that gives you further encouragement and inspiration to work harder and speed up your recovery. One thing that helped me through my time in physical therapy was having someone I look up to go through the same thing. And that someone for me was a professional wrestler by the name of Seth Rollins. Now, Seth Rollins had hurt his knee in a similar manner. I think he tore his own ACL and he was out of action. And seeing him, having someone you look up to go through the same thing should not only inspire you to keep going and overcome your injury, but it should also help you see that your injury is not your end as in your time as an athlete. It's only a small step back. It's a bump in the road. And as soon as you get through your recovery and physical therapy, you will be right back on that field or the court. Um, I will admit, after surgery, you may not be the same. Personally, my knee still gives me a little bit of issues. That's okay. You have to know your limit, know how much you can realistically do at first and after your recovery. Don't push yourself too hard. If you push yourself too hard, you can re injure yourself, and it may be worse this time around. But slowly but surely, your muscle will go back to the same size and strength that it was before. You will regain the full range of motion. That even goes for more serious injuries. Back in 2012, Peyton Manning, he suffered a neck injury and had to go through multiple surgeries, and he was cut from the rest of his season, and he was cut from his team, the Colts, at the time. He went through intensive rehab, and many people even doubted if he would be able to return. And if he did return, would he be able to play on the same level? However, he was able to beat the odds. He joined the Broncos, and a few years later, he even managed to win a Super Bowl win. His story is one of many people who have returned from their injury with hard work and determination. Just because they are professional athletes does not mean they are more likely to recover faster or even better than you. You are in charge of your own progress, and working hard, following your physical therapy routines can help you come back just as strong as ever, and you'll return just as many others have done before you. Although, for those of you who had a more serious career ending injuries, I sympathize with you. Although that doesn't even mean you have to stop playing the sport altogether either. You can easily still go to practice with your team and even play casually or even locally. Alternatively, if you know the sport well enough, you can become a coach. I think becoming a coach is probably one of it's a really good way to re fall in love with the sport. And you can probably even understand the sport a lot better by becoming a coach because you'll be able to see more subtle details in a player that you wouldn't be able to see as a player. Also, helping your new team build a bond similar to your old team is nostalgic. It can help you realize why you love the sport in the first place, and it helps you forget about your injury altogether. I know for myself, teaching whenever a new player would join the team, helping them learn how to hold a tennis racket and seeing the progress of their own hits on the field helped me after my injury as well. Because I would go to the field, to the courts while I was injured and help out the new players. And when you eventually, for those of you who can play still, once you return, remember you are doing the best you can, and your hard work does eventually pay off in the end. To wrap up my points, a sports injury is one of the most discouraging things that can happen to a person. They are not fun, and going through physical therapy and surgery is one of the hardest things to work through. However, I believe it is very possible to overcome this. By working hard in your recovery process, you will come back to the field stronger than ever, and you'll be back to do what you love. Thank you for your time.